everyone. Thank you for attending our Speak for Your Cause event here at beautiful Jordan Valley Park. It means so much to everyone involved that you guys are here to hear about what we're passionate about and possibly become involved with our cause. Before I begin my speech, I have a question for you. Who likes pie? How many of you think that you could eat a whole pie by yourself? Well, if you think that you can do that, then you should sign up for our 7th annual pie eating contest, which will be taking place here at Jordan Valley Park on Saturday, August 20th at 2 p.m. The entry is totally free, and it's sponsored by Sarah Lee and hosted by Press Cutter, and it's for any age, from the young to the young at heart. So bring out your family and friends to cheer you on and to enjoy a beautiful day at the park. There will also be free pie and ice cream for the spectators at the end and for those who competed if they still have room in their stomachs. So again, the event will be taking place on Saturday, August 20th here at Jordan Valley Park, and start training now. I am an adopted child. My birth mother was a young college student when she got pregnant with me, and her boyfriend had left her, and because he didn't want to have anything to do with the pregnancy, so she desired for me to have both parents, so she decided to give me up for adoption. My parents told me that I was adopted when I was in 2nd grade. They did not have a lot of information about my birth mother besides what I told you before, because it was a closed adoption, but I did need to be informed about adoption and really understand what it was, especially at such a young age. I have obviously experienced it firsthand, and besides that, I have also done some extensive research on it to learn more about adoption. And today I would like to just tell you some issues that can be solved by adoption, some ways that adoption saves the child's life, and how adoption is ultimately life-changing and enriching experience for the child. In the U.S. alone, there are over 114,000 children waiting to be adopted, and I'm going to kind of discuss a few issues that can be solved by adoption. The first thing is that unplanned pregnancies can be saved through adoption. When a couple faces an unplanned pregnancy, they're usually feeling incapable and very scared, and adoption can be their way out of that and kind of solve that problem for them if they feel like they are not fit to parent the child at that time. The mother and the father could remain connected to that child through an open adoption, which is an ongoing relationship between the birth parents and the adoptive parents that's open communication, and they know they're completely involved in the life of the child, just not their parents. They feel more like extended family. Or there's also a semi-open adoption, which means that the parents meet, but they don't exchange information, and if there's contact, it's very little, and it's facilitated through the adoption agency. Another issue that can be solved through adoption is couples who are not able to parent a child themselves and become pregnant. Around the world, there are roughly 90 million couples who suffer from some sort of infertility issues. Adoption is available to such couples to give them the experience of raising a child and being able to fill that kind of void in their life. It can be expensive, but a lot of adoptive parents see it as worth it and believe it and that it is worth it because they really want a child. The second thing is that adoption has the ability to save the life of the child. Abortion is unfortunately another option for an unplanned pregnancy. And there are approximately 42 million abortions performed around the globe each year. Abortion is the deliberate termination of a pregnancy after conception, and it's a very controversial issue, obviously, because it does involve killing the fetus. Adoption can be used as the alternative to abortion. It's much healthier for both the mother and the child. In the mother's case, it helps her to avoid damage to her reproductive system, future infertility problems, and future miscarriages that might happen. And obviously it's good for the child because they have a chance at life and they are not terminated. Women who abort are prone to more serious psychological and emotional issues further down the road. They can suffer from depression, they have loss of interest in things that once brought them joy, and they can become self-abusive. Adoption frees the woman of any sort of guilt and gives the child a chance to experience life. Finally, adoption is ultimately an enriching and life-changing experience for the child. Adoption allows the child to experience a well-rounded and stable lifestyle, because most parents who are ready to adopt are ready financially and emotionally ready to parent a child. The child can have access to maybe a more solid education, extracurricular activities. They would be able to maybe have other siblings, and they would just be have more resources available to them that they might not if they were not adopted. And adoption can also allow a child to fulfill their God-given purpose. When a mother chooses to give her child life through adoption, the child is able to become who they were created to be, because God does have a purpose for every person, even those who are still in the womb. I'm going to read Psalm 139, 15 through 16. It says, "My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days were ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." So this child could end up being a doctor who completely changes the medical field, or they could be a teacher who has a great impact on their students. Like, their purpose just comes more alive in the sense that when they're adopted, and it just, for me, I often think about how different that purpose may have been if I hadn't been adopted, if my mother hadn't chosen to, chose to parent me herself, and how different that would be. So I have now addressed the choice of adoption and how it benefits everyone from the birth mother to the child. And I don't know exactly how my life would have been if I hadn't been adopted. My mother could have chosen abortion and completely ended my chance at life and purpose altogether, or she could have chosen to parent me herself, which, like I said, my purpose might have been completely different, and I could have ended up choosing a whole different lifestyle for myself. I'm just extremely thankful that God did stir her in that direction, and that I have the life that I do have today. So I hope that if adoption ever becomes an option in your life, that you may be willing to go in that direction as well.